Aloha, good afternoon. Welcome to O-pinions in the Ozone. Once again, I'm Marcus Sean Evans. And just wanted to discuss a few things. And one of the things I'd like to touch on is growth. Despite what most may believe, but real growth starts when you're tired of your own bullshit. That's how winning is done. You know, a lot of people like to say, I'm a better person, and I'm a good person. There's no such thing as good people. You're good when the situation is to your liking, for lack of a better way to put it. When there's an end goal for you, when there's something you can gain out of it, that's generally when they're a good person. You don't believe it, change the situation and watch the person change too. And it's just some things that you see as you go along in the world. It's just some things you see when you come across people and they'll put on a mask. And what people do, they'll act a certain way because they desire a certain outcome. It's that way in relationships, it's that way at your workplace, it's that way at the typical church. Because you don't really know the person, you just know the person that they're presenting to you right now. Like I like to say that when you begin dating someone, I like to say that you're meeting their agent, their representative at the time. You know, give it some time, then you'll get to know the real person. Because you really actually don't know a person till you live with them anyway. You're two separate entities when that person is here and that person is here. But then, in most cases, you'll decide to move in with your other, and then you'll see the real them. Don't get fooled by the person you see. Deal with the person you see as you see them. Because you don't know them yet. And I see a lot of that these days. I see a lot of situations where you'll think it's all gravy, you'll think it's fine, and then you'll see some months later, they'll disperse and go their own separate ways. And then you'll be like, hey man, what happened? And it's usually the same thing, the real them came out. You know, you have to let things give time. But in any case, you know, be it friend, family, whomever, it's best that you be around people who fit your future, not your history. That's your cousin, okay, that's fine. That's your brother, that's your sibling, okay, that's fine. But at the end of the day, what's really going on there? What is the real dynamic here? Are they fitting your future or are they fitting your past? See, we have a tendency to hang on to people because we've been knowing them so long. Even though that person is toxic and poisonous even. You don't drink poison because you're thirsty. Likewise, don't just be around someone because you've been knowing them for years. Sit down and think for a second. Okay, I've been knowing this person for years. Where have we actually really gone? The conversation about 20 years ago and things like that, that's cool. But where are we going forward? Do you have any constructive criticism for me? Can you accept constructive criticism? Do you have any ideas, suggestions that can better me? And vice versa. That's not what I'd say compatibility. That's comfort. This person is comfortable with you. You're comfortable with them. But where is it going? If you're 52 years old like I am, and you're still doing the things you was doing in your 30s, you might need to reevaluate. Was there any growth in these last 20 years? Did anything you do help that person grow? Did anything they do help you grow? You know, we're all adults now. And if you're my age, you've been an adult for over 30 years, you know, statistic-wise. Because they'll say men become men at 21, women become women at 18. And I know some 15, 16-year-olds that mentally they're already there. Just watch them. That's what life is about, man. Life's about growth. You're supposed to want to be better every day. If you're not a better person today than you were last year at this time, you might need to reevaluate some things. Some things might need to move around. Some things might need to be prioritized. You don't get an award for being a good parent. That's what you're supposed to do. Oh, I'm good to my kids. Oh, I go to work every day. As an adult, that's what you're supposed to do. Be it a personal business, be it if you work a 9 to 5. You don't get an award for that. If you're looking for a pat on the back for doing things that you should be doing anyway, I'm good to my woman. You don't get an award for doing things you're supposed to be doing anyway. You know? So yeah, try to be around people that fit your future, not your past. Somewhere along the line, you got to come out the bedroom. So what else do you and this woman have in common? Are you helping her grow? Can she come to you with ideas? Will you accept criticism from her? These are questions that need to be asked, y'all. Because I'm tired of seeing people telling me that I'm supposed to care and be around certain people because I've been knowing them so long. I don't care because I've been knowing you since grade school. What do we actually have in common here? I remember back when I was doing drugs and partying and doing frivolous nonsense. One thing, shout out to Dexter Newby. He was the counselor at Wayne County's drug court program. And one thing he told me that I actually saw come into play. I remember when I was telling him that, you know, the people that I associate with and be around and things, you know, I'm on a new path now. I have other things in mind rather than getting high and things like that. And one thing he said to me that stood out more than anything else, I even say it all the way to this day. You're not going to have to remove yourself from those former associates. They'll remove themselves from you because you don't have anything in common anymore. The only thing you actually had in common with that person was the addiction. And I saw that play out in real time. A lot of the people that used to shout at me from across the aisles in supermarkets. Yo, oh, what's up, man? Yo, what's good? The moment I cleaned myself up, cleaned my act up, and they knew it to be true, because at first they're just going, he's just going through a phase. He'll be back. But the moment they realized that I was serious about sobriety and addiction, they'd see me and go the other direction. That's all we had in common. That blunt, that coke, those pills, that alcohol. Even with the associates that we used to be around each other here in the streets, and we linked up with each other in incarceration situations. The moment I stopped getting incarcerated, they really didn't have much to say to me either. Life's about progression. Everybody's not going to be happy with you progressing. Everyone's not going to be happy with you getting better. Wow, shout out to Dexter Newby, man. I just mentioned you, brother. I just mentioned you. I just literally mentioned you. He's on here. I'll never forget him telling me that. You're not going to have to remove yourself from them. They'll remove themselves from you, because that's all you had in common. And I'm sorry if I upset anyone, but there's just people that I just choose to not be around. How do you know that? When was the last time I was around you? Speaks for itself. It's not that you're a bad person. It's just that your energy and where you're coming from is detrimental to my progression. Former relationships, former girlfriends and the like. You don't hear from me because I don't need or want what you have going on. That's what you got going on. That's fine. That's your life. But I'm the CEO of my life. And what you have going on, that's just not nothing I'm interested in anymore. I don't want to hear about back then. That guy's dead. I'm a completely different person than I was then. So for anyone that jumps in and says, oh, I know him, you actually don't if you haven't been within my vicinity in months, weeks, or years. If you're expecting that guy, you might not want to be around me anyway. I see you, Nando. What's happening? I'm good, Nando. Shout out to my man Nando Wilson back in the Batcave days. Yeah, that's all. Now I still shout at him when I see him. I have no problem being around him because he's been responsible back even when I wasn't. He never looked down on me, but as we are these days, he obviously was pulling for me. Do yourself a favor and stop going around people that don't like you. It doesn't matter if they're family or not. Live in peace. You know that kind. You get within 6 feet of earshot from them, they already got something to say about you. Once you recognize that that's the dynamic, respond accordingly. Good to see you too, brother. Good to see you too. I came a long way from the Batcave days, brother. You knew me then and you know me now. You know what I'm saying? You'll be doing yourself a favor when you vet the people you associate with. You can actually lose everything by being around somebody with nothing to lose. See, back in them days, I had nothing to lose. Now I have a home. I have a loved one that actually cares. Shout out to the queen. I got stuff to lose these days. I don't have time to be out there fooling around, and for what? You know? You know, you don't have to be around people just because you've been knowing them for years. People come and go in your life, but you are you at all times. Be good to yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. You got to be you first. You got to take care of you first. You can't do anything for anyone else if you don't do for you first. You won't have anything to offer. So I'm at the point in life now, what do you offer that will require me to be around you? People say it's shallow. It's not. I'm at the point in my life now that if the sky fall right now today, it might not even necessarily be financial. Can you offer me a lift up? Hey man, I got a gig. You know, my job is hiring. Can you offer me anything to help me out of my situation? If the answer is no, there's no real need to be around you anymore, man. I'm the CEO of my life. I hire, fire, promote, and demote from within. Because at the end of the day, I'm responsible for the man in the mirror. That's what life is, man. You know, 2 years ago you had problems you don't even remember, but they felt like such a big deal at the time. And yet, here you are. It all comes and goes. Life is about mindset. The difference between us and the animal kingdom, we're both mammals, but we don't thrive off of instinct. We thrive off of comprehension. We have the choice to choose. We have free will. And the same free will that I applied to the drugs and the selling dope and the hanging out and I apply that now to being the very best version of myself I could possibly be. That's just where I am in this space now. As people that watch me frequently, as you all know, I don't be in here long. It doesn't take a million words to prove a point. Just something I had in mind, something I wanted to unpack, something I wanted to share. You know, I don't want to be tough. I don't want to be hard. Only broke people want to be tough and violent. I don't want to be tough. That goes back to what I just said. When you got something to lose, you'll act like it. But real growth starts from when you're tired of your own BS. I got tired, and I'm doing better now than I've ever been at any point in my life. The Navy, the selling dope, all the progressions I've made through life. Life is a cycle. It's not winter all the time. It's not summer all the time. It doesn't rain all the time. That's just the progression in life. And the goal is to progress. And that's what I wish, pray, and hope for you all. To be a better version of yourself. Learn something every day. Every day there should be something you found out today that you didn't know yesterday. You're supposed to always be willing to learn. Live, laugh, love, and learn. Those are my 4 L's. That's my time. I want to thank you that stopped in. You can always like, subscribe. This is O-Pinions in the Ozone. I'm your host and proprietor, Omar Bashan Evans Sr. And I'm happy that some of you stopped through in your day Most of us are off on Saturdays, but you stopped through just long enough to give me a shout. Once again, shout out to my man, Nando. You know, most of y'all and Justin know him as Worm. I always called him Nando. Shout out to Nando. Hope your family's great. My personal one of my personal mentors, Mr. Dexter Newby. Thank you for stopping through. Live, laugh, learn, and love, man. There's O-pinions in the ozone. Omar Vashon Evans Sr. I'm gone. Have a great Saturday, everyone. Football lovers, enjoy your games. I will. And I'll get back with you again on another time. Holla.